Hello everybody! Welcome! We're going to be playing the matches from my new Grave Wisps deck. This is a Fall of Argenport list, so we actually have all of the new cards. They just came out this afternoon, so I'm doing this video very quickly, and I've already started a fresh brew. I kind of like this hand, we're going to keep it. If you want to see the full deck tech, go and just check the video below, because I'll have it in there, and I go over all of my choices for the deck, and what maybe you can try and test and change yourself. Ooh, we've got Pathlighter. So if you haven't seen Pathlighter, it's a 1/1 deadly that reduces the cost of Radiance when it hits, but also gets larger when we have something already die. I'm not sure if I want that yet or not. I think I'm going to just bottom that. We want to try and draw some of the more swingy cards. I want things like Memory Dredger or like Soulbringer first. Stone Scar, sure. And I'm going to cull the deck instead of use Xenan Cultist. Ooh, wow, these are some good ones. So Xenan Initiation is excellent on Piercing Grief. Dark Return is great to buy it back. And Ancient Lore is good card draw. I'm going to take the Xenan Initiation, though, because it's just like one of the main combos that I want to use with Piercing Grief. We're going to hope, and this is hope, that we can play Xenan Cultist, have it not die, and then have 4 mana to immediately go Piercing Grief, Xenan Initiation, grow it into a 4/2, and then into a 6/4 with Killer, which is real nice.
Claimed by shadow.
And let's get our Cultist down. Even if we don't get the Piercing Grief, like if we don't manage to draw a power here, we might be able to Magenta Wisp, and this one has a pay 1, sacrifice it to kill an enemy unit with 3 power or less. And that'll obviously become a 4/4. Nope. Ooh, there we go. So it looks like we might be against just kind of value Grenadins. Do I want to use that immediately? Probably not. I think that I just wait. We'll attack with the Cultist. Like, I could use this to pop a 1/1, but it's not super useful. It's better on defense. They might still just have to kill it if they want to get damage to anyways, and that gives us the same desired result, as it were. Okay. We're going to kill the blank Grenadin rather than the one that has a summon effect, because it's possible that they can just buy it back. Alright, got Vara's favored. But it does grow our creature. Wow, that's triple quarry? That's really scary, because that's a lot of consistency for their deck. Ooh, here we go. Alright. We're going to Piercing Grief and Xenan Initiation. Not because the 1/1 is a threat, but because now it's all set up and comboed. We can just draw it at a certain point, and it's just suddenly a 6/4 killer, lifesteal charge unit that's just absolutely nasty. We can kill almost anything off of it. And that's really key for us to get right now. Makes it really good later on when we can use Memory Dredger to buy it back, or if we draw a Dark Return. So we just want to set that up while our opponent has all of their defenses down, can't do something like a Torch and stop us. And we're probably playing Memory Dredger here. This looks like our opponent's just playing the good old scrappy Amethyst. Ah, can bust. Alright. Well, the good times have ended, but we still have Memory Dredger, so it's not totally over. We're not going to block if they attack here, because they're likely running a Torch, and we just don't want to lose Memory Dredger to something that's simple. We don't want to have Memory Dredger get torched here. Combusted, well, can't really stop that. And they attack. They draw power. I was really hoping that they would actually draw a creature and play it. How many Wisps do we have? Just the one? Yeah, we only have the one Wisp in the yard so far. So what we can do is play Magenta Wisp, kill this. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, this is gonna die, not now, but next turn. Yeah, this was silly. I don't know what I was thinking. It's fine. I mean, I guess we just get damage in. What I should have done is I should have just played the Wisp and played the Piercing Greave and passed the turn. And then I could actually use the Wisp and the Soulbringer. That's what I meant to do. I don't know why I just didn't count the extra 2 damage. I was just having a moment. We could buy back Memory Dredger. I think we do that. It's a pretty strong play. They've already used 2 Combusts. Torch doesn't get it unless they have double Torch, which looks like they have a Torch or a Devour. What are they doing? There we go. But that's okay. If this doesn't die, then we can attack, get back a Magenta Wisp, sacrifice it, and do the Soulbringer plan like we had wanted to if I had been actually paying attention and not just totally zoned out. I have no idea why my brain said that it was free. Yeah, we are not blocking. It's possible that they have something like a Vara's Favor plus. Like Vara's Favor plus Torch would do it, so I don't want to do that. Gain a bunch of life, and get a Magenta Wisp. Funny enough, kill a Gredidin, and then buy both of them back.
From death, life.
Boom. And now, every time that this hits, we get a 6/4 killer unit, which is pretty sweet. I think our opponent's gonna have a hard time dealing with that, especially with us at 34 life. That's an interesting choice. They decided to go and kill the Magenta Wisp rather than the Soulbringer. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I might have wanted to just kill the Memory Dredger, though, because Memory Dredger just buys back Magenta Wisp. Now, there's no point to get Piercing Greave back this turn, because we can't use the killer, and we've already attacked. But we might as well play that. And I'll just dump a bunch of Wisps onto the board. No real reason not to. Opponent does have a lot of cards in hand still. Ooh, Scrap Tank. I'm just going to attack like this, so that they can't double block with their little creatures, and then we can just Piercing Greave, and boom, blow it up. Get a Devour, you bet. I could have attacked that 4/4 when they had the Scrap Tank, but with all of the new cards, I don't remember off the top of my head if there's anything that can sacrifice one of their own creatures. Like, they could even torch one of their own creatures and make it a 7/7, and then I can't kill it, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Oh, the Xenan Cultist is so good here. So we'll grow that Magenta Wisp, attack with everything, and we're going to get a 4/4 Magenta Wisp back. Seems pretty good to me. Do they have a board wipe? They have Witching Hour. It's a lot of value. Oh, double Witching Hour. Nice. They're going to have to kill the Xenan Cultist, because that's really important right now. Yep. But I can kill one of the flyers, and then they have to chump block, or we just get the 6/4 Piercing Greave back. Double Witching Hour is quite a thing. They have one in the void already, too, right? So they've already drawn 3. Yep. Okay. Kill this. We're going to attack with both. The reason being that we actually want that to die, so we can get Pathlighter to have a little bit more power and toughness. They really needed to kill this earlier when they had the chance with the double torch. Block with both. Really the only thing that they can have is another Witching Hour. And I mean, if they've got all 4 of them... Oh, Gear Cruncher is pretty bad. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm so glad they weren't able to actually use that first. So if they'd killed the Memory Dredger, that's a real problem. Right now, we just get Piercing Grief, and thankfully, that'll clear up Gear Cruncher for us. We can now play Void Drummer and keep getting all of our units larger and larger, including the Ephemeral Wisp that's in the yard right now. $45 damage is not something they're going to be able to surmount easily. I'm going to assume they don't have another Vara's Favor. They've already used 2. I haven't normally seen them run 4. Wow. We drew another Gear Cruncher. That's pretty sick.
It's all your fault.
Alright. We need a power to actually draw back these Wisps, because they're huge. Power or a Dark Return would be awesome.
The touch of shadow.
There's the Vara's Favor. They've had a little bit of consistency with this deck right now. Suppose this is what happens. I should have kind of realized, because they did have triple... Ooh, yikes. This is gross. 15, so we're just dead, right? Yeah. But they did have triple Quarry in the first hand, which is absolutely insane for consistency. Not a single power card. A power card would have saved us here. That's pretty nutty. It was nice to draw a lot of gas, but at this point we just needed to draw power. Well, that's unfortunate. Our deck started going off. We just really needed, like, one more thing. I made a few misplays with some of the new cards, so certainly, you know, I don't know what I was thinking that one turn with the Magenta Wisp and the Summoner, but... Yeah, I'm surprised we lost that, but I mean, at the end, when you just can't draw power, couldn't find a way to get over all of that consistency they had from those early quarries. Alright, game 2. This hand looks pretty good. I'm going to keep it. We've got Ephemeral Wisp to buy up a lot of time early, and Cult can dig us down. Sorry, not Cult, Cull. Soulbringer, hopefully for some value later. We've got 2 late game synergy value cards. Alright, Memory Dredger is nice. I'm going to cull the deck right now and see if we can't get some kind of power card or draw. We'll use Ancient Lore. Oh, Fearbinder. I remember seeing this. So once per turn they can pay 4 and sacrifice 2 units to get something that is the combined total of both of the units. Which is a weird card, but an interesting one. We have Xenan Initiation, which we can put on this now, which is pretty nice. Fearsome was a card that Fearbinder, sorry, it makes Fearsome, was a card that I actually thought about putting in this, because we have so many ways to buy units back. I'm going to do this assuming that they don't have Annihilate. And then I know that it's going to be good on this later. We just need to draw power. We are running only 25, but we have a fair number of draw spells, and we're also not really running anything that requires a lot of mana, so it's generally not an issue. It's got to get there. Crest was nice. Now we can play any of these.
Into worlds beyond.
Finally have a Wisp. So they've got a similar idea of what we're doing. Make us discard the top two. That's actually good for us. We've got a lot of things to buy back. Although, those were possibly two of the worst cards that they could have actually gotten that with. So that's unfortunate. Boy, do we have a choice. We could just Memory Dredger. Fearbinder gets Berserk. I could also Devour, try and buy this back. I think I'd rather Dredger and we'll pass. Maybe you should have used the killer to kill this thing.
Glimpse into worlds beyond.
Sure, another flyer. That I'm okay with. So we're going to do something fun here. We're going to attack, kill this. And then we're going to buy it back. Kill it again. Good evening. I agree. And then we can Soulbringer to buy it back. And we don't have any other Wisps though, right? Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't. I was thinking about doing that. I might just want Ancient Lore, actually. Yeah, we don't need to go too crazy. Ooh, Piercing Grief with the Xenan. Alright, now we're set up. We're trying to get rid of all these flyers so that we can get Memory Dredger through unblocked. And next turn we have enough to go Grief, Initiation, and Devour it if we need to. What could they have that would actually kill that? I don't know, but I don't really want to find out. I don't think there's a reason to find out, that's for sure. So this is interesting. I kind of assumed that they would use the Fearbinder on themselves. Or Spite, sorry, not... I keep on missaying cards. I'm probably going to do that for a while. But I'm surprised they didn't use the Spite Feeder on themselves, because they have things like Sporefolk to get cards into their Void, just like we do. So it's kind of strange they chose to target us with that. Grave Tender. Flying Tribute, +2/+2. Sure. So again, fun little thing.
It's all your fault.
We're going to start killing some units. And get the Grave Tender, and then we're going to smash in with our Flyer. At which point, they either chump with it, or we get back another creature here. Because we can devour our own Ephemeral Wisp. I think I want to do that. Opponent attacking with all of that. We've got enough life that we don't really mind. I don't want to draw them the extra card by blocking with Ephemeral Wisp. If they want it to die, they're going to have to pay 4 to this Fearbinder. Oh! They're going to sacrifice Sporefolk and not the Dark Wisp to draw a card. Whoa, that Berserk art thing looks not great to me. I don't know. I don't really like that. It's my first time seeing it. And we're going to get our tip for Berserk. So, did you know, Berserk? Units with Berserk can make a special double attack one time. If it survives the first round of battle, it'll attack again, and it gives it Reckless. So it goes away. Let's go How do I want to do this? I think I'm okay with that. Ooh, Xenan Cultist would have been excellent a minute ago. But we'll go Void Drummer. I think we go Void Drummer and Wisp. That way we have a good chump blocker. We can stop the 4/4. At least for a turn. And Void Drummer can make it larger. Alright, they used their Berserk, so now it's going to be Reckless. That animation is pretty cool, though. I do like that. Is that Reckless? I like the new Reckless thing. That one looks good. Oh, and it just immediately attacks. Okay, so that's how the attack looks again. That's really sweet. So that is more interesting. And they get to use Fearbinder again to recombine it. Fearbinder might be a really good inclusion in this deck. I'd maybe have to test that out. It looks really sweet. In any case, however, we've got some stuff to do. We'll leave that back. We really want to chump block with it so we can get killer on it. Ephemeral Wisp gets larger from the Void Drummer and then immediately gets drawn back. And we're going to go Cull the deck. Get a Xenan Initiation. Okay.
Claimed by shadow.
This is something. We're going to put Xenan Initiation on this. And I think that I might even just attack and have it die. No, we're going to wait. We want to be able to double chump block. Because I can use this again and keep attacking, making it bigger and bigger. Silence? Ugh. Silence the Void Drummer, though. Kind of the good news with this deck right now is that we have a lot of redundancy here. So, sure, Void Drummer is no longer giving our units +2/+2. But, heck, Xenan Cultist sure is. So we double block, and then on the second block, we get to block it with 1/1 Wisp that's left. It dies, it gets larger, and that's why our opponent just decided it was time to pack her in. Okay. Huh. I'm gonna keep this. We have the early Pathlighter. Our mana is a little bit rough around the edges. I don't mind waiting. I might even wait on Pathlighter until we can go Ephemeral Wisp, Devour, and then Pathlighter. So like this turn we play Wisp. We have an awkward decision to make. If we play Banner first, we can play Pathlighter. If we Devour first, and then try and Banner to draw it back, we can't play the Pathlighter, but we have Ephemeral Wisp in play. We can also roll the dice and hope that we just hit a power card. I think there's enough upside to having the 3/3 that we do it this way. And there we go. Got another Pathlighter. That would have been pretty sweet. Yeah, here we go. So we can go attack with the Pathlighter, get back the Wisp. If they kill it, then I'm probably going to play our own Pathlighter again. No, otherwise, I'm actually in mind of Cull the deck, Cull the deck. Ooh, we've had trouble drawing enough power. I might want to just grab a Shadow Sigil. Nothing Piercing Grief is fine, but not amazing. There's nothing super important there. Here we go. Now, these are important. I'd have loved to have a Void Drummer and a Xenan Cultist, but I'm going to just grab Void Drummer this time. I'm not sure if that's true yet, like whether or not it's straight up better than Xenan Cultist in these kinds of situations. But we'll find out soon. Oh, wow. Our opponent's going for some late game value, it looks like. Let's see what's happening. See, like, we would have immediacy on this where Void Drummer can just die and we don't get anything out of it. Whereas if we played Xenan Cultist, this would already be a 5-3 into our deck. And then if we had Xenan Cultist in play, it's harder to kill, and there's also the added bonus of if they want to kill something like the 3-3, it's harder for them to do that because it'll just mean that we get a bigger Pathlighter later on. Ooh. Ancient Lore. We want to hit like a Devour or something. Banish is cool. Soulbringer is pretty cheap now. Mask of Torment. They have gone very, very deep. Time to banish the Mask of Torment, I think. We don't need them to have a bunch of extra power. Piercing Grief's Xenan Initiation Dark Return. Piercing Grief gets played immediately. I think I like this. I'm waiting on Pathlighter here a little bit. Gotta imagine our opponent has some kind of board wipe. Nope. Just another Amaran Camel. Well, away we go then. Let's just keep attacking. No blocks at all. Our opponent has 0 fear. I'll play a Memory Dredger since I already have another one waiting in the wings. We've got a lot of recursion sitting around right now. Channel the Tempest.
Unleash the storm.
Sure. That does draw them a lot of life. They get a ton of cards and a lot of life from that. Dredger again. I kind of want to kill one of these. We could Xenan Initiation onto the Dredger. It's probably not the worst plan. They've been gaining a lot of life off of them. It's the only reason why they're still alive. And it seems likely that they have another card like Channel in hand.
It's written right here.
The more we can cut them off from that, the better. Yep, that's a lot of card draw.
I searched the
Silence.
Shadowlands and found my way.
I need a way to sacrifice these. Maybe we do need to do something like the Fearbinder. We just need a little bit more sacrifice for a deck like this. Although I've got to imagine that a deck like this doesn't last too much longer in the meta. I can't see people playing a deck like this for too long.
Unleash the storm.
Because you could call it greedy. I think that's a fair assessment. just wait.
On your feet, wanderer.
The urge and strategize. They've gotten a lot of life back again.
On your feet, wanderer.
What's cool though is this does mean that these have to attack, which is actually excellent for our plans. I'm gonna sacrifice one of these first though. Ooh. Xenan Initiation. I think I just like it like this. And then we'll get Pathfinder. And I'll play a Seed of Mystery. No reason to play one of these yet, even with the Tribute active. We don't actually have 2 Wisps yet. Alright. That gets us. Good news, we get to buy most of it back. Magenta Wisp. Not doing anything yet, but we'll see what we can get going off of that. Let's go Soulbringer. We could just buy back the Void Drummer.
Life.
Could buy one of the Pathlighters. If we buy back Pathlighter, we can then... No, we couldn't do that. We're short of being able to have it back into play and Initiation and Soulbringer. Because we'd want one of them to die and then be able to buy 2 back. So we're just 1 short of being able to do all of it. I think if that's the case, we're just going to grab Void Drummer. I'll play our Magenta Wisp. And we'll pass.
One bullet should do.
Last word. Wow. And Hailstorm again! Sick. Funny thing is, though, that kills all their own units because it's deadly. Let's go Dark Return on Piercing Grief. That's a big nasty. And it draws us a card. Gets rid of the last word. I'm going to play Magenta Wisp and not play Soulbringer yet. I kind of want to wait and see if we can get Tribute here.
On your feet, wanderer.
Dark Return, get back another Theurge. Yep.
On your feet, wanderer.
Wow. Okay. Oh, buying a Temple Scribe, not another Theurge. Huh. So I'm going to attack with this. That might seem weird. But I think that it makes a lot of sense.
From death, life.
Because I really don't want to have Magenta Wisp in play, but I'd much rather have, like, Pathlighter and a Void Drummer, which I get to do if I do this way. We'll play another Magenta Wisp and then we'll pass. I'm really, really hoping that we draw a power card so we can put a Xenan Initiation on some of these massive Ephemeral Wisps we're going to have.
On your feet, wanderer.
Stun it all.
It's written right here.
Piercing Grief. I can do that. Grief Initiation. It's just not as good, though. I think we'll wait. We'll hit another power eventually. Our opponent has 16. Can't be forever, right? Right? Just swing with the team. Sure, banishing Pathlighter is not a big problem for us. They do have Var's favors. Am I worried about that? A little bit. A little bit. I'm gonna wait. We've got patience. We've got a lot of time. They did keep on top, so that's a bit scary. Might be another Mask of Torment. Block. It'll make this Ephemeral Wisp bigger. He'll keep slamming back. Wow, we just cannot draw power right now. Piercing Grief's not big enough to kill any of them. We could Initiation here to kill one, but I'm not super happy about that. I think that we'd rather just chump block, which is sad. Hopefully we can hit a power, though. 17 power left in the deck, right? Yeah, less than half. So, I mean... not exactly at a coin flip or anything. Clear Unbound.
Possibilities.
And another Void Drummer. Listen, this card's good. I like it. I don't know that I like this much, though. I did that wrong. I was gonna Piercing Grief and kill it, and then make it bigger. That's what I should have done. We're gonna have to chump block. This was the plan. I just got ahead of myself and attacked first for some weird reason. Because that should be... oh, no, it's gonna be revenge. Yeah, no, so that's fine. I mean, we're in trouble. I don't know if there's anything that we can really do about it. Just needed to draw power at some point in these last, like, 6 turns, 7 turns, or whatever. Mask of Torment is pretty nasty. They can't ultimate it yet. Why aren't they... they're not attacking with everything. That's only 20. Sure. Give me a single power. Thank you. How many Ephemeral Wisps do we have? 3, right? Wow, look at how big they are. It would have been so good earlier to just draw a power. Yeah, so we have 3. I kind of like only attacking with 1 in case they have removal. Oh, it doesn't matter. They've got Mask of Torment now. Yeah. It's actually just too late. It just took us way too long to actually draw the 9th power. That's why. Man. Rough loss. Really, really rough. That being said, I don't think we're going to come across those too much more often. There's going to be a lot of brews right now because people are trying to play with set 4. So there's going to be some really, really, really slow, super over-the-top decks that aren't going to last against any kind of aggro plays. So once people start playing a little bit of aggro again, the format will correct itself, and we won't come across a deck like that. So we'll be able to go way over the top of anything that actually exists. That's just not a realistic deck that we'll normally face. Okay, I'm going to keep this hand, even though it does look like it has power issues again. It's weird, I played like 15, 20 games with this deck before I started recording today, and we did really, really well. We didn't have any trouble with power at all, and then I turned on the camera. And I just have not been able to draw any power since. And it's been, unfortunately, a little rough. Sporefolk. What is this? Stone Scar Excavator. Okay, so there's something going real deep here. We'll just attack, play an Ephemeral Wisp, and then hopefully we can use Devour on it later. And then maybe draw power. Power would be good. Power card? It might be a really good sign that we just need more power, too. But I just feel like we shouldn't have this much trouble every game. I might have been getting lucky for like 15, 20 games. That is certainly a thing that happens. Well, that's sweet. Alright, so Arcanum Hourglass and play a bunch of... There you go. Bunch of crests and things out of your void. Privilege of Rank, sure. Let them double block. It's fine. I like our opponent's deck. It's cute. And I'm gonna Memory Dredger first. We want to be able to keep buying back this Magenta Wisp if possible. Good chance that it dies here. I'm curious what our opponent's, like, win conditions are. They've got Harsh Rule. I mean, the Stone Scar Excavator, I guess. Maybe that's just it? It easily could be. But they're playing so many different colors. Ooh, the red for Excavator, the Justice for Harsh Rule. What does Shadow be for? That's what I'm not... Oh, it's Sporefolk. Right, of course. And Arcanum Hourglass. Maybe that's it. That's probably all that it is. That would make a lot of sense. Get back El Whisperino here. And we can play another Ephemeral Wisp. It doesn't really matter. If it dies to a Harsh Rule, it's not the end of the world. Does suck that we lose everything before we can get the Voidbound going. Yeah, there we go.
This ends now.
I called it. There was one already in their Void, so I was just kind of hoping they didn't have it, but... It's not super terrible. I think that right now we get back Memory Dredger. Void Drummer we can get back with Soulbringer, so it's not terrible to leave it in there for now. So this is a very interesting deck, though, because you're playing the Arcanum Hourglass to kill with the Stone Scar Excavator, but you're going to have less and less cards in your Void all the time, then? I'm not sure how that works. They've got to have another way to kill. They're going to get a lot of power, so, I mean, it could be almost anything, really. Maybe I'll play Pathlighter. I'm really interested to see what the win is in this. Nope, nothing yet. Let's just play one Memory Dredger and wait. I'm kind of waiting for more kill spells. There's another board wipe that happened in this set. It is at Legendary, but they might be running some of those. And on the bottom. Alright.
It's all your fault.
Let's get the Piercing Grief in there too, so we can maybe start buying it back with the Memory Dredger when it comes out. Ooh, Devour is excellent. And we're just gonna wait. With Devour, we can use Soulbringer to buy back the Void Drummer. And an extra card. Well, they have to have something now. Ah, Copperhall Blessing, sure. Cute. I love the whiffs of all of those. We're just gonna pass here. And there's the Harsh Rule. And a Scoop. I feel like they might not have realized that they're not ever going to have power cards in their Void, and their win condition was the Stone Scar Excavator. But with the Arcanum, you're just going to keep playing a power every single turn, and I don't think that works out as well as you'd like. We were also on a roll, though. We had a really good hand this time. Had a little bit of problems the last couple games. This one was a sick hand. We were going to start really going off. We had a bunch of different ways to keep buying things back over and over. And Devour was going to just draw us into more of them. Alright, 2-2 in the finals. We have a Xenan Initiation. We have a Cull. Magenta Wisp is fine. We'll keep this. It's nothing amazing, but we can dig down and see if we can find something amazing. I'm really hoping for an Ephemeral Wisp, so we can just start doing this chain. Ooh. Another Initiation is not the A++ card that I want. This is dangerous. So I can grab Ancient Lore, which I think is the right pick because we can't play Void Drummer. But it also means we don't have enough power to play it. So we'll see what happens with this. We're not under any pressure either, though. I mean, it's pretty early on in the game. We have 2 more turns to draw a single power card. We might want to cut some cards just to play, like, Vara's Favors or something like that.
In the darkness.
Oh, cool. So our opponent just gave us a card that we can kill with this, which is kind of sweet. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to Void Drummer so we can buy it back later. Sandstorm Titan is a little bit bigger. We can just Ancient Lore and draw, or we can Piercing Grief and just suicide it into Titan. Honestly, not the worst plan. Because it does put it back into our deck already to make it a little bit bigger later. And we have the Dark Return, so we want to be able to get this with Destiny as soon as possible. We'll wait for now. I'd love it if Magenta Wisp said that you could sacrifice it to kill an enemy unit with power less than its own. Because that would be really insane. Ooh, alright, we now have the Xenan Cultist too.
Be claimed by shadow.
So, interesting decision. We can leave back to triple block. Or we can swing in with the Void Drummer again. I think that we just pass. I wanted to play the Xenan Cultist before the Piercing Grief Xenan Initiation thing because it's going to get so big. Titan. And Initiate Sands. And they look like they're on mono time, so I'm not as worried about that as normal. I feel like they might not kill the Cultist. Although, well, no, they'll kill these two. We'll leave the 3/3. Still, I suppose that I could instead block here. If I do, then they'll block and kill both of these, leave me with this. No. I need to kill the World Bearer. Yep. We can actually chump the Sandstorm Titans is the thing. Excavate. Sure, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Gain a bit of life back. Hopefully we can draw it back with Ancient Lore. If we can, then we can kill her, hit the World Bearer Behemoth, and then Dark Return it and hit the Behemoth again. Ooh. That's interesting. Do we call the deck because we can actually... We don't have any... Oh, we have Magenta Wisp, so... Call the deck is actually safer. Way safer. Yeah, there we go. Because even if we miss, then we could still Dark Return Magenta Wisp and have some chump blockers. But now we can do it this way. I do really like Xenan Initiation, but boy, we have way too many this game. Play a Wisp and pass the turn.
What could go wrong?
Haha! Got it!
Ow. We're gonna let that happen because we need to be able to triple block and kill one later. Devour is not terrible. Ugh, I'm gonna get really greedy here and hope that we hit a power. Okay. 2 power. So we're stuck double chumping and using Devour to gain life. Not where I want to be. But it does leave us the option to maybe draw like another Dark Return, buy back Piercing Grief again, and start going off. And we do have the other Piercing Grief, obviously. Oh, that's lethal. Didn't expect them to spend that much time thinking about it. Hey, look, we found all our power this game. There we go.
Just don't look down.
Ah, it's so close. So close. Triple Xenan Initiation was just a little too much. We needed one other card in here. If we had an Ephemeral Wisp, this game's easy. We just chump block for a bunch of turns and we're good. But we just didn't quite get it to all mesh up. So I like the idea of this deck. We had a lot of success with it. Like I said, of course, the minute that I had the cameras off, and it's great. Turned the cameras on, and it wasn't bad. It went 2 and 3, but could certainly do a lot better. We might want to add even more Shadow Sigils, like cut another Amber Waystone, or we might want to do something like cut out some cards like Banish for Var's Favors, because that would work out really, really well. We needed a little bit of extra damage here and there, and it's nice to just get another Shadow Sigil, thin our deck a bit too. I wouldn't mind... I'm just trying to think of other ways that we can get a little bit more consistency out of this deck. Because we just constantly didn't quite get enough power. Maybe we just need to cut the Cull decks and just add in those as Var's Favors, and maybe that's the only changes that we need to make. Maybe put in the Banish, instead of the Banish, put in some of those better removal spells like I was talking about. Things like a Dark Return. Not Dark Return. Wow, and now I cannot think of it. Death Strike. That's a very different card. So we could maybe do Death Strikes. So I'd look at making some of those changes. And then, of course, if you want to go really deep, the card that was really interesting to me, and I didn't try, but I definitely thought about, was Fearbinder. Because Fearbinder looks really fun. It gives us a good repeatable sack outlet where we can just constantly sacrifice 2 units and make bigger and bigger things all the time. You can sacrifice the Fear Sum that you get back with the Fearbinder again, so you can keep on just adding to the ball over and over and over. And that's really sweet with things like Ephemeral Wisp. Especially, like, you get an Ephemeral Wisp that's a 1/2, so that this can actually attack, and then you can just keep it rolling over and over and over. And that's really sweet. So I like the idea of trying that. I hope that you all have a fun time doing your own brews for Fall of Argenport. And if you want me to play something specifically, you can always stop by my stream. I like to play a lot of subdecks. Or you can send me one in the comments below and I'll maybe take a look at them. I really like to see some things that people have thought of for brews. If you have any ideas for the Grave Wisp decks, don't be afraid to comment below either. I'd really appreciate hearing it. And of course, if you're down below, you can check out things like my Patreon or my wonderful sponsor, inkgaming.com. They've got a wonderful store there. We got 12% off any order that you want to buy. They've got a lot of cool gear. They've got wonderful mouse pads and playmats and dice bags and all kinds of gaming gear, both for like things like Magic and tabletop, but also for computer gaming. And you can check them out at inkgaming.com. They've been a wonderful support, and thanks everybody for stopping by. I will see you next week.